Welcome back to the Perec Project. I'm Gila Ross, host of the Power Up podcast, and in just a few minutes a week, we look at the timeless wisdom that we can learn from Pirkei Avot, from Ethics of the Fathers, and apply to our modern day lives. In this episode, we're going to look at different types of personalities, and in doing so, we are going to find an answer to the age-old question, can a leopard change its spots? Can a person change their basic character traits? So let's look at it. This Mishnah talks about 4 different types of temperament, and it's based on how a person handles their anger. Interestingly enough, the Talmud says if you want to know who a person really is, the essence of a person, you can see this in 3 ways. Number 1, through their wallets, how they relate to their possessions. And we saw that in the last episode. We looked at different ways of relating to possessions. The second thing is through their cup, right? How a person behaves when they're under the influence. And the third thing is how they behave when they are angry. Now it's interesting, we're going to go through it and we're going to see that the Mishnah, it gives judgments at different types of relationships with anger, which if you think about it, doesn't seem very fair unless a person is able to change it. So indirectly, it's teaching us that a person is able to change even our most basic character traits. So let's look at the 4 different types of personalities when it comes to anger. The first is a person who is quick to get angry, but also quick to calm down. Now, such a person, their loss is greater than their gain. Why? Because being quick to calm down is a positive aspect, but that is offset by the negative, because even if they calm down easily, there's always the next thing that's going to trigger them. It's almost like some people, they wake up in a bad mood, they wake up angry, and it's just that they're looking for the first thing that is going to trigger their temper. And unfortunately, perhaps the greatest loss a person who's habitually angry suffers is that they're a slave to their mood. Because of the anger, they lose perspective on life and they lose control. And it can be so damaging. Now there's a second type of personality, and this is a person who is very slow to get angry, and he or she is also slow to calm down. Now this is slightly better. Why? Because yes, it's not a positive thing to be slow to calm down. But the flaw's not so damaging because the person is slow to get angry in the first place, and therefore because of that, they're going to be saved from the dangers of anger. Interestingly enough, someone like this, who's slow to get angry and slow to calm down, they're going to realize the effects of their anger quicker than someone who's quick to get angry and quick to calm down. Because a person who's quick to get angry and then quick to calm down, they may rationalize, they may say, you know what, that's just who I am. I get angry easy, but I get over it easy as well. Whereas someone who's slow to anger, but they're also slow to calm down, they can be angry for a while, and they will realize the negative effects of their anger faster than the other person who rationalizes it. Now there's a third personality type, and this is someone who's slow to anger and quick to calm down. Now this is the best combination, and this type of person is considered a pious person. They have an attitude towards life that they accept whatever life throws at them. They don't take offense easily. Now, interestingly enough, it's very important to point out that it doesn't talk about someone who doesn't get angry at all, because that's not possible. And not only is it not possible, it's not necessarily a good thing. There's a time and a place for anger. Imagine if someone insulted your mother or someone that you love deeply. You'd get angry and you'd stick up for the honor. And the same thing we should do, obviously, if someone insults God, right? There is a place for anger, but someone who's slow to get angry and quick to be appeased, to calm down, to be appeased, shows that they are in control of their anger and they're using it in the correct times. Now, and then there's a fourth personality type, and this is the worst combination: someone who is quick to anger and slow to be appeased. Now, this is the worst combination because they have a temper and a loss of control that comes with it. And because they're so slow to be appeased, they show that they're stubborn. That's a terrible combination, and it leads a person to do terrible things. Now, the important thing to remember when we go through these 4 different personality traits is we can find ourselves in whichever of those 4 we may be right now. But what the Mishnah is teaching us, the underlying understanding of this Mishnah, is that we can move, and we can move towards the personality type that is slow to anger and quick to be appeased, which is the ideal. And it may take a while, it may take many years, but it is so worth it. Thank you so much for listening. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can get in touch with me on Instagram at Gila Ross. And if you like this podcast, please share it with a friend and like or rate and subscribe to our podcast to get future episodes. Thank you for spending your time with the Power Up podcast.